Yo guys, welcome on in. Kyrios here, and today we're going to do a reroll guide and your reroll tier list. So the characters that you want to pull on a reroll in today's Artery Gear Fusion video. So rerolling is not going to be the easiest in this game, and you're not going to get the greatest amount of pulls either. We won't know, so your mileage may vary, but these are some of the characters you want, and this is how that I'm going to be rerolling. So hit the chapters down below depending on what section you want to see. And if you guys do like the video, like and subscribe. I'll see you in there. Let's go. So there is a guest account that you can log into in this game, and that's a very nice feature. So you can log in as a guest, you can play through the intro missions, and you can get to the point that you can start rolling. Now the issue is that, say you do all your rolls, you don't like it what it is, you can go to the top right hand corner, hit the cogwheel, go to account, and then you can log off. So which is perfectly fine, but unfortunately the game is still going to hold your data, right? So if you go to log back on, you're going to log into that same guest account. So there's only two ways to get about this. The first one is a salted email. This is probably the best or the easiest way for people to comprehend and do it. It's just going to take you a couple extra steps. So on that same screen, you can go to upgrade account, or on the global version, I don't have the screenshots for, you'll be able to sign up for an email address. Now, if you can see here on screen, you can see I have my main address, which this isn't actually mine, I just made it up, but personofculture@gmail.com. Now, you don't want to use your main Gmail account until you have the account that you want to keep. So what you're going to do is you're going to do something called salted addresses, and you're going to use your main email address, but then do +1, +2, +3, +4. And these are just essentially going to be burners. So when you get an email or you sign up with it with +1, all those emails go to your primary address. So you'll continue that process over and over and over again until where you use a salted email address, and then you log out and then you log back in with a guest account. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Now, the second way to do it is not going to be as fun, but there's some ways to do it. Now, you can't really clone the instances. Now, there is a way you can clone it, but we're not going to go over this guide. I'll have that down here in just a second. But another way you can do this to get rid of the data is you can, if you're on an emulator or you're on your phone or anything like that, you can go to storage and you can clear the data and you can clear the cache. Now, unfortunately, if you do that, you're going to re-download the 4.31 gigs it needs to play the game over and over again. But if you're not interested in logging on, doing a salted address, logging off, doing another address, this might be a way to do it, especially if you're running multiple emulators where you can just sync the accounts. You can do like 9 of them, right? Delete the data, let it re-download, go walk away, get a sandwich, come back, right? That's one way to do it. Not the fastest way to do it, but it is one way to do it. Which, by the way, any emulator will do. If you guys have BlueStacks or LD Player or any of them, they'll all run this game pretty decently. Now, one thing I will point out is that you do want to run Artery Gear Fusion on the 32-bit of any LD Player or BlueStacks that you run. It's going to give you optimal performance. 64-bit is not going to work. And if you want to know how to do that, you can open your multi-cloud instance manager. You can click instance, you can do fresh install, and you have all these different options. Now, most games run it Nougat 64 or Pi 64. This game specifically, you're going to want to run an instance at Nougat 32-bit. So just keep that in mind. That's how you're really going to want to run this game. Let's talk about the different banners you can roll. So in the beginning of the game, you're going to have 4 different banners. You're going to have one that gives you an SSR selector, and the SSR selector is only going to have X amount of characters in it. And we'll go over here in just a second which one you're probably going to pull from that. And then you're going to have 3 other banners, one being the limited, the second being the elite recruitment, which the elite recruitment is just your rate up. So if you take any of the characters that are out in the game, they will typically cycle those so you have a rate up character, so you have a better chance of getting that character. And then you have the normal banner that has everyone besides the limiteds on there. Now, if you check under elite recruitment or you check under the limited banner, the limited banners in the elite recruitments can also drop X amount of the normal characters. Not all of them, but X amount. So luckily for us, if we go to Shura, which is the limited banner that we're going to be typically re-rolling, depending on when you're doing this re-roll, you're watching this re-roll guide, just make sure you're watching who's in your drop rate list. You might have to go roll a different banner. Luckily for us, at the time of making this video, all the characters that we're looking for is under this one banner. and you'll see the drop rates. Now, make sure that you are comparing that drop rate percentage to the normal drop rate percentage, and you do the one that's actually higher. As more characters come out, that rate goes lower and lower and lower, right? Okay, so now that we know that, let's look over the characters that we are going to be going through. So for that screen, I have this screen right here. By the way, this is a very great site. Whoever put this together, same people that did Counterside. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's some really great stuff here, guys. I'll have the link to the description down below. Now, there's a lot of characters already out for the game, but there's a couple of standout characters that are absolutely amazing, and the ones that we're going for are Reroll, in kind of in the order that we're going through. Let me rearrange these slightly. So definitely not Grace first. So the first one that we're going to be rolling for is obviously Shura. Shura's on the limited banner. And luckily for us, Shura is also in her limited banner is the other character that we're looking for as well. But Shura is great. Is a fire. I'm just gonna say red is fire, green is a leaf, and water is blue, right? But they have different terminologies for it. So just take that for what it is. Does defense down breaking on 2 different abilities, and then does the attack down on her 3rd ability. Absolutely amazing. She's a boss killer. She's used all the time. She's a great character to roll for. Absolutely great character to roll for, and is still used in the current meta in the Japanese. Now, on the second character, the second S rank character you guys are looking for, so this is for the God tier account. I'm going to be looking for getting Shura. I'm also going to be looking at getting Sirius. Now, Sirius is the one that actually really matters, but there's no banner for Sirius right now, so you have to try and fish her through either the limited banner or the normal banner. But she is great. Unfortunately, the only thing that makes her not great is that she's all single target to an extent. But she does supply speed buffs. She does do a defense down, which is great. And she does a ton of damage. She's got great potential for everything that's out there currently today. So Sirius is one of the ones you're going to definitely be gunning for, guys. Absolutely 100%. All right, so and then finally for your SSR selector, right? The one that you guys are going to be going after, in my opinion, is Genga. Genga is amazing, especially for PvE. Now, the best part about this lineup, guys, and we'll talk about Genga in a second, is that we have fire, we have leaf or earth or whatever you want to call it, and then you have water. So you have one of each element, and then there's no moonlights in this game as of right now. There's only RGB, so that's what makes this game a little bit more easy. There's no light and dark. There's only the 3. Genga's great. She puts debuffs on the target. You can do two shock for 2 rounds, which is absolutely amazing. Does more shock on her S2, and then for each debuff on the target will increase her damage by 20%. That's huge. She does a ton of burst damage. Now, the problem I have with all 3 of these characters, more or less, is that they're all single target. So we're going to talk about 2 characters that are also really good. You'll have to get them in your reroll. You'll probably get them over time, but characters you should be definitely going towards. The first one is Grace. And now Grace is a 3-star, but she's one of the best farmers in the game. Mainly for the fact that she has a passive that increases crit chance and crit resistance and all that goodness. And she has a very low 4-turn cooldown. And it's an AoE, and if it's a critical strike is triggered, the skill will increase its damage by an additional 30%. The cooldown of the skill is also reset when a target is killed. So if you use her as a farmer and she's cracked and she's just killing everything in one shot, she's just going to be able to S3 over and over and over and over and over and over again. Absolutely amazing. And then just in case that doesn't happen, if she critical strikes on her first, it reduces all her skills by 1 round. So she's a very great farmer. Highly suggest you guys level her when you do get her. And then the other one that you guys are looking at is Alice. Alice is just great. She's great in PvP. She's great in PvE. She gets extra turn. She gives herself an attack buff. She also advances her action bar, which is like CR pushing, right? If you're familiar with some of those other games. And then she causes slow to all targets. And that's what makes her absolutely amazing. An AoE slow just makes her really annoying to deal with. And the fact that it's 4 turns when upgraded. So These are the characters I would be going after. Now, the hard ones to pull are obviously these two. You need to try and pull these two, and you'll get this one for free. You'll get Gango for free off your SSR selector. Well, hopefully that, guys, helped you out. Hopefully I covered everything. If I didn't, hit me up in the comments down below. I'll answer any questions that I can get to. Are you guys excited for this game? I'm excited for this game. I'm always looking for some more side games, I should say, as we're waiting for a few others. But hopefully this helped. I'll be streaming rerolls live on twitch.tv, and I will see you guys on the next video. Fist bump from me to you. Also, like and subscribe and all that goodness. Blah 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 blah.